Hi, my name is Daphne, and today we are sitting in the garden late July. We're sitting in the garden after a week's worth of rain, and week's worth of rain before that, and before that. So everything is completely overgrown, but we actually do have tomatoes and mosquitoes. We have an abundance of squash, more than an abundance of squash. So much squash this year that I've actively been walking around the neighborhood trying to give it away. And the only thing I have successfully done is collect produce that other people don't want. So tons of cucumbers that get pickled and okra that's coming in from other people. So we are all just exchanging the abundance of produce at this point, which is a great thing. And it's always good to know your neighbors and figure out who is growing what, and then see if you can come up on a deal. So a lot of really good things happening in the garden space. So I do want to show you guys around and let you see the beauty of everything that is going on. So let's go. You know, I did not know that these little prickly things were burdock. We used to play with these as kids. We used to stick them on people. And I didn't know that it was actually burdock. This was a burdock plant. Look how many pollinators is on this thing. Look at this. This is very healthy. Leaning towards the sun, so all of them are kind of drifting in this direction. Now this is two plants, which is probably a mistake because they're literally leaning on top of each other. But one of these is definitely patty pan. The other one is yellow squash. So here's a female flower there. And we have a patty pan. And it's perfect when you pick them at this size. It's perfect when you pick them at this size. And you can freeze them. And it also allows for the plant to keep producing. So beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful patty pan squash here. And entering into this forest, look how majestic it is. It's so beautiful. We have our zinnias meeting us right at the door. We have our violet zinnias and our peppermint zinnias here. Look how beautiful they are. And then we have our tomatoes. I think this one is this one here is a Dr. Witchy's. And we do have, oh no. Yeah, definitely have to stake this up. I usually have to do that with tomatoes anyway. It's just the stems aren't going to be able to support the weight when these get bigger. But look how many flowers we have on it, and the plant is healthy. And then we do have what I think is a butternut squash. I see male flowers. I'm not seeing any female flowers, but oh look, we have our first one. So cute. And this plant has gone all the way down here and is actually trying to extend over, but I'm going to push it back this way. And take that too. And then we do have some, I think this is lettuce leaf basil here. And we have some cinnamon basil here. No, I actually think that might be Thai basil. And some Thai basil here, all of which needs to be picked, but we don't use that much basil. But I actually use this for teas in the winter, so I'm actually going to come down and chop out a lot of it. Just chop it down a lot. Here we do have another Dr. Witchy's, which I see some green tomatoes on. Look at that. And this one is also a Dr. Witchy's. I don't see any tomatoes yet, but I do see some flowers. So we're getting there. And then in this corner, outside of our beautiful yarrow, which is attracting a ton of pollinators, we do have our Cherokee Purple, which has a ton of tomatoes on it, just a little bit of them. Well, there's a cute little one here. I am going to have to come out here and stake these up a little bit so that the tomatoes won't kill the vine as they get bigger. But I have a bunch of tomatoes here. And then covering our beautiful marigold, we have this patty pan white squash here. There's another one here. See, and some basil which needs to be picked. I think this one is actually trying to go this way. Oh, we have another one. I guess that one could come off tomorrow. It's kind of small. And then this tomato, which has some fungal issues at the bottom, is San Marzano. We do have a cluster here and a smaller cluster up there, but I do have to come and trim this plant back. This beautiful mugwort here growing back. It's gorgeous. I can actually come out and trim that one too. It's at its prime. Have some borage. Look at this one. This tomato plant here is an Amish paste, and I mean it is going crazy. We have some smaller tomatoes here, and then we have, look at this one. It's huge. It's a beautiful little tomato. Just the one. And I mean, this plant, actually Amish tomatoes are indeterminate, so they will grow as high as you let them grow. And then down here, I actually had to take out a borage because they started to get all mildewy and gross. Here's a basil that has seen better days. But this one, I actually don't know what this squash is. It's all over the place for it to be producing like no fruit. Like absolutely nothing. I think this one is actually a butternut squash, and all of its babies are actually below the viewpoint, but I've actually seen it. If you go on the other side, you can actually see the fruit. It smells like peppermint and lemon, and it does smell like banana mint back here. Oh, look at this. I see it. It's beautiful. Beautiful peppers here. I actually used some of these peppers actually in making our pickles. They are super hot. We have some more peppers coming in over here. Oh, this asparagus. We have tons and tons of peppers. Definitely not as many as the ones on the porch though. I will continue to say that peppers actually do like shade. The ones on the porch that are shaded actually are bigger and a lot healthier than the ones out here. So it's always good to know, but we do have some peppers coming in. And then in this jungle over here, oh, we do have this little red one coming in. She's going to be beautiful. Tons and tons of chamomile that have to be picked. See, we do have, look at this on this tiny okra. One little tiny little okra I think is trying to come in. Look at this. God. This thing is huge. It's beautiful. And then on our okra, this one doesn't have anything coming in yet, but we do have, and not that one either. We have some flowers. And look, I think we have our first okra there, or a flower, one of the two. But I know we have an okra here. Look. Our first okra. We also have another. Looks like the other one didn't make it. This one. Like, this one actually made it. So we have an okra here. And then we have another okra coming in here. And yeah, we have 2 okra and a few more coming. They're doing amazing. Little tree star plants. And I have no clue about the variety. I completely forgot. I'm going to have to check the older videos to see what I planted since I planted okra twice. I have no idea. And then we do have our Cherokee purple row. This tomato is going to be cat-faced, I think, but this little tomato is getting kind of blotted out by everything that's planted along it. So this bed probably won't produce too many tomatoes. I only see 2 plants that's actually valuable. The other one has kind of been dwarfed out by everything else that was planted around here. So I know better than next year not to plant a tomato so close to the kale. Beautiful. Yeah, I did plant way too much. And then we did actually plant some carrots. So that's not a carrot. There's some carrots coming in pretty nice. Got bee balm. I've actually been taking the flowers to dry and make tea with. I don't know how it's going to taste, so hopefully it's good. Some kale. And then on either side here, we do have some more carrots that are just growing in these containers I got from the dollar store. Little herb garden here, which is doing amazing. This red bee balm, if I can keep the St. John's wort off of it, they would have a chance. It's just beautiful. And the white sage here is going to make a beautiful. I'm actually going to make a smudge with this. I'm going to mix it with some mugwort and a little bit of lavender. Absolutely amazing. They could use more sunlight though. It's been raining quite a bit, so everything's a little droopy. I mean, look at this. That is literally a fruit growing. Yeah, it's growing in this. There's 2 of them. I really just want to take this one. There's a fruit here too. If I take this off and just push this back, it'll have more growing space. There's another fruit coming in right there as well. It's not going to be able to maintain all of them. But I can sacrifice one and push the whole thing back, or I'll end up breaking it, and that would suck. Then we also have our greens bed. It's so interesting that it seems like the collard greens that are actually doing well, most things are actually on this side. We have the other collard greens which kind of stunted behind this mammoth one here. And then over here, I don't see too much. They haven't grown so much since the time I planted them. Like this almost seems to be a little bit of the same size. I mean, they're healthy, they're still growing, but they're definitely not as huge as that one. So that must be a trusted spot. I will start to actually take some of these greens though and freeze them just because it's time. I mean, we can definitely start harvesting some of these greens. Although from the color, it does look like we've had a lot of rain, so maybe that is it as well. But I will actually come back out here and fertilize this space too with some 511 and maybe some comfrey leaf fertilizer as well. But, I mean, look at these leaves. They're huge. These and the, you know, the mustard greens are doing fairly well. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that your gardens are doing amazing and that you are filming them and putting them on record. Even if you don't display your gardens to anyone, take photos and take videos, even if it is for your personal benefit. Because in the winter, when none of this is around and everything is bare again and there's no greenery and there's no produce, it's always good to flip through the videos and to flip through the photos and just view what was, and you can actually see how your gardens look, and you can actually see what it is you want to keep and what it is you want to take away for the next season. It's always good to have a visual memory, especially in this day and age when you can do that. So this also stands as my garden journal. So everything here I can actually pinpoint what it is I do want, what it is I don't want. It's a beautiful thing. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a great and wonderful day.